Hello everyone. Welcome to our Facebook Live yoga class, our midday session called the Blissful Warrior. And this is a yoga and meditation class. So if you've never done either, you're in the right place, especially if you come here wanting to have the experience of what it feels like to do yoga and meditation. I'm Rhonda Uretsky. I'm the owner of River Flow Yoga. We are actually a flagship hot yoga studio, which means that's our core practice at River Flow Yoga. We've done that for the past 12 years. And hot yoga is a fabulous practice, and we do offer hot yoga classes here on Facebook Live. If you check our schedule, you'll see that many mornings and many evenings and some weekends we are offering to teach you hot yoga right here on Facebook Live. And if you've been feeling like hot yoga is a bit of a daunting undertaking for you, I can promise you that the way we teach it to you, you'll find it very step by step. And you'll actually learn to enjoy the sweating and the release that comes from hot yoga. And yet, here I am in the middle of the day offering my personal practice, which is called the Blissful Warrior. So the Blissful Warrior is sort of a curated practice. I have been practicing and teaching yoga and mentoring students and other teachers for the past 45 years in yoga and meditation and mindfulness practices. And I have to say that during these really challenging times that we're living in, that we started to begin to experience in around March, I have never been more appreciative of having this practice than now. If you don't have a yoga practice or a meditation practice or a mindfulness practice, it's not too late to start. It's just that it's really lovely to have this practice in place. You know, a teacher once told me it's a little like learning to sail a boat on a storm. You want to practice putting up those sails before the stormy weather comes, so that when it does come, you're already practiced in what things will guide you safely through this storm. But if you happen to be out on the ocean in a boat and a storm approaches, then you need to learn how to put up those sails. And sometimes being in the middle of a condition where you really need to do this is a great time to learn as well. So, whatever your situation might be, if you are new to yoga, if you've always wanted to learn how to meditate, if you really have been a great hot yoga practitioner and you're missing your studio, because of course so many studios are closed now, then you are welcome here. All of the teachers at River Flow Yoga are bringing yoga to you from our virtual studios, which is inside of our own homes. And I have to say that we are doing it in order to keep up our own practices. So we are inviting you into our personal practices to practice with us. So it's slightly different than being a student and teacher. We are still the teachers and you are coming here to learn, but we are really sharing these practices with you from our hearts. Notice that we are not charging anything for you to join us here. We simply want to invite you in to get whatever it is that you get from this practice. So, the Blissful Warrior. I actually wrote a book called The Blissful Warrior back in 2016, and it is a book based on my many years of practice and how those different processes and practices helped guide me through a challenging time in my life. Little did I know then that looking back, that challenging time would seem quite tame compared to what we're all experiencing now. So the first thing I'd like to invite you to do is grab some water. Get some water. If you learn nothing else from this practice here with us at River Flow, it is going to be to drink lots of water. We are very fortunate. We live, most of us, most of you who are coming to me, I'm here in New Jersey. Wherever you're coming to me from, I would say that most of us are fortunate that we have the availability of water, clean water in abundance. And there is no better way to nourish your body than to drink clean water. So let's start by having a few sips. Now I say a few sips, but if you watch me drink water, it almost like it looks like I guzzle it, which I guess to some extent I do. I really do practice water in abundance, not because I have to, but because after all of these years of doing it, I know how great it feels, the change, the difference that it makes in the way it feels for me to be in this body when I have had at least half my body weight in ounces of water every day. So for me, that becomes sort of easy. This is a 50.7 fluid ounce bottle of Trader Joe's spring water, and if I drink one and a little bit more of these bottles every day, then I've fulfilled my half my body weight in ounces of water. So you can come up with your own little tricks. Okay, so if you didn't have water with you when we started, maybe you took the time to run to the kitchen and grab some and keep it nearby. And when you feel inspired to take a sip, go ahead. And try not to wait until your mouth is dry or until you're actually craving the water. Just whenever you think of it, whenever you look over at that bottle of water, go ahead and take a sip. Our bodies physiologically are a huge percentage water. I don't know the exact percentage, so I'm going to take a wild guess, 90%. It's a large percentage. And so putting clean, fresh water into this body really helps to keep this body humming. So go ahead, drink that water. Know the good that you're doing for yourself. You know, if you actually take a moment to appreciate the things that you're doing, whether it's drinking water, doing yoga, taking deep breaths, which we will also practice here today, that moment of appreciation enhances the benefits and value that you get from the practice that you're doing. So as a blissful warrior, I'm encouraging all of you to be a warrior about one thing: your joy. Don't do anything, think anything, act on anything that feels like you should, like you have to, like you need to make an effort and push yourself to do it. Now I know that's an opposite message than most of us get in just about every other area of our lives, including self-care. Isn't that a little bit ironic that self-care, the very thing that we do to soothe ourselves, somehow begins to fall onto that to-do list, just like everything else. And then it just becomes something that you really don't feel inspired to anymore, and it sucks the benefits right out of it. So as you drink water, as you come here to yoga practice, as you sit here and breathe with me and do some meditative practices, let this be a joy. Let this be the time of day that you look forward to, no matter what has come before in this day, no matter what's on your to-do list for the rest of the day. Let this moment be the one that you look forward to. And hopefully there will be others. As we do this practice, one of the things that I hope you glean from it is that feeling good is good for you. Feeling soothed, feeling like you are yourself. These are the things that will enhance not only your sense of well-being, but your health. The very thing you're chasing after when you do practices that maybe don't feel good, but you feel like you should or you have to do them. That very thing that you're chasing after is right here inside of you. And if you can calm yourself and be present and enjoy this moment, then you catch up with it. So here we are. We have arrived. You have arrived in this practice on Monday at 12:40 in the afternoon. Have a seat. Sit on the ground if you like that, if you prefer that. And if you're here for the first time, I repeat this every single time, if you're sitting on the ground or you'd like to learn how to sit on the ground in a way that feels really good for your anatomy, grab a cushion, put it under your butt, and then sit to the front of that cushion. So you feel like you're tipping your hips down a little bit. You're actually not doing it, they're doing it. The hip flexors are opening. Allow the knees to sort of let themselves be relieved in a downward position, and you'll begin to feel the immediate soothing that happens in this hip portion of your body. If you prefer not to sit on the ground, you are entitled to your preferences. Sit in a chair. There are benefits for you there, aside from the immediate benefit of just feeling good. I should really take out the word just, because feeling good, I promise you, is the key to any practice that's going to benefit you. So if sitting in a chair is what feels good, then go ahead. If you have a chair where you can sit to the front of the chair enough where you can put your feet on the ground, and I usually have to sit to the far front. I'm 5'1", so in order for my feet to touch the ground, I have to be at the far edge of the front part of the chair. But if you place both feet on the ground, you're doing an immediate calming of your nervous system. So think of your nervous system like this glitter wand. Right? Your nervous system made up of all these nerve endings that run all the way through your body. The biggest nerve in your body is your vagus nerve, which runs right here from your brain down the sides of your throat, straight down into your gut, and on the way it branches out into many, many tiny branches. So when something activates you, when you get upset, worried, stressed, agitated in some way, those nerve endings start firing. And it sort of looks and feels like this inside of your nervous system. And this parasympathetic nervous system is connected to every function of your body. So when you feel stressed, when you feel agitated, you feel it everywhere. Now notice there's a lot of activity going on here, but if I don't apply any more agitation to this glitter wand, if I just let it settle, then that's what it does, naturally and on its own. Unfortunately, many of us, even before this pandemic, would simply go from one agitating situation to another. And sometimes it's not even a situation outside of yourself. It's in your own mind. The thoughts that you have spinning you into these really agitated states, just one thought leading to another. And we never get that chance to allow the nervous system to calm itself. And certainly now, even more so these days, right? It just seems like there's one bit of triggering news or information on the heels of another. But if you will do this really beautiful practice, simple practice of sitting in a chair and placing both feet on the ground, then you are taking this glitter wand inside of you and allowing it to settle. Isn't that beautiful to know that if you're sitting at a computer, or if you have a lot of Zoom meetings to do today, if you'll simply change the position of your body on the chair so that your feet can sit on the ground, then even if you are in an excitable Zoom session, even if you are around people that trigger you as you're in these meetings, you are still calming your nervous system. Your body has so many of these built-in self-soothing mechanisms. And as you learn about them more and more, and try them for yourself, despite my 45 years of practice and experience, I don't want you to take my word for anything. I'd like you to, if you desire, give these little processes a try and see how you feel. If you'd prefer not to sit in this arrival practice, then I invite you to lie down. I suggest you lie on your back. Bring your arms far away from your body, still at your sides, not in a T, but far, palms facing up. Allow your heels to touch and your toes to flop apart, and in that little connection down there at the heels, you are also calming your nervous system. So, whether you're sitting or lying down, on the floor, in a chair, right now, let the tongue in your mouth sort of rise to the roof of your mouth, and drop your chin a little bit and lean it back. Just feel the soothing that you are facilitating in these gentle movements. Somehow we got sold this bill of goods that in order to do ourselves any good, we have to make a great effort and struggle, and it has to be painful, right? No pain, no gain. That old story. That is not the story of the Blissful Warrior. And I'm going to share with you how your own physiology, your brain, the neuroscience that goes on inside of you is really wired to be self-soothing and self-healing the more you calm. So here we are, and you've arrived. Now, before we begin, I'd like you to just check in, and on a scale of 1 to 10, give yourself a number on the agitation scale. 1 being very calm, really chill, and 10 being really spun out, triggered. Maybe something happened this morning, maybe nothing happened, and you just woke up that way. Just give yourself a number that feels right. Try not to dissect it, or evaluate it, or judge it, or second guess it. Wherever you are, you are. That is the first step in soothing yourself. Just having a moment of, okay, here's where I am. I would say I'm about a 4. Okay, settling down, settling into your arrival position. Keep your eyes focused on something directly in front of you that just feels nice to look at. Doesn't have to be anything in particular, could be a blank wall in front of you. But notice when your eyes settle there, you drop your chin a little and you're looking at this object or wall a little bit through the tops of your eyes rather than head on. In this way, you get your head to be right back on top of your neck. And I know that sounds funny, but most of us have a chin thrust. You'll notice it as you begin to drop your chin and move your head back a little bit, just how much you need to sort of get yourself relaxed in the cervical spine. And you'll know instantly where you are by how you feel. All right, now we're going to move into breathing. So you've arrived physically, you've settled your body into a posture that feels good for you. We're going to be doing some nice deep breathing in and out through the nose, hearing it in the back of the throat. And today we're going to add something new to this breathing. We'll do a few breaths, and I'll instruct you through each breath, then we'll stop, and then we'll add something new, a deeper level of this breath that will calm and enhance the benefits of this breath even more. So relaxing your hands. If you're sitting on the ground, there's lots of beautiful hand positions, backs of your hands on your knees, palms on your knees, hands in your lap, palms facing up, dropping your chin, settling your eyes, and as you inhale through your nose, hear a loud Darth Vader ha sound in the back of your throat. As the breath comes in, drop your chin and pull wide from collarbone to collarbone, as if you're creating one long collarbone instead of two. Hold it here for a moment. And now exhale again through your nose, hearing it make a loud ha sound in the back of your throat. Keep your collarbones pulled wide. This is an appropriate thing for every arrival posture, sitting or lying down. Dropping your chin a little more, empty your belly like a balloon deflating. And then drop your tailbone straight down and then tuck it up a little bit as if you're getting your tailbone to point towards your navel. Notice how that sort of adjusts your spine just the littlest bit. These little adjustments are all you need. Inhale. Collarbones wide, chin dropped. Exhale. Loud ha sound in the back of your throat. Again, eyes softly focused. Empty your belly. Let your tailbone drop down. And then as you undulate that tailbone a little up towards the navel, you'll notice this little rise in your chest. Keep your chin down though. And inhale. Collarbones wide, chin down, eyes softly focused, hands relaxed. You can feel your rib cage coming apart, those intercostal muscles really getting a beautiful movement. And exhale. Again, collarbones wide, chin dropped. Empty your belly. Drop your tailbone straight down, and then in the slightest way, tuck it up a little bit, pointing towards your navel. Now after these 3 deep breaths, just have a moment to check in. Do you notice any difference in the way you feel emotionally? Inhale. If you don't notice any difference, you haven't done anything wrong. You are here for the awareness, for the journey, for the pleasure of it. Whatever you feel, you feel. It's fine. So now we're going to add something a little extra to this breath. On the inhale, on the exhale, you're going to hum, like a low, deep hum that you feel vibrating in the back of your throat. Let's see how this feels on that soothing scale. I'm going to lower this, and I'm going to raise raise the volume on this. Excuse the hand. Meanwhile, you're breathing, right? You're sitting. You can be calm and soothed no matter what else is going on. Okay, here we go. Inhale, collarbones wide, balloon your belly out. Hear it like an ocean sound in the back of your throat. Your chin is dropped, the tongue rests on the roof of your mouth, and your collarbones are pulling wide. Holding here for a moment, feeling the fullness of this breath filling your body. And exhale. Completely empty. Belly is empty. Drop the tailbone, tuck it up a little. Inhale. And exhale, humming. Chin dropped, tongue resting on the roof of the mouth, tailbone dropped down, tucked up a little, and inhale. Keep those collarbones pulling wide. Can you feel that opening across your chest without any real strain or effort? Drop your chin, exhale. Empty your belly. Drop the tailbone down and tuck it a little bit up. Beautiful. Now just checking in for a moment. Just noticing how you feel. If in order to notice, you want to go back to that number scale, 1 to 10, that emotional agitation scale, I should say emotionally soothed scale, with 1 being very relaxed and 10 being really agitated. Just noticing how you feel. Thanks, Lisa. If you can sense any difference than when you first sat down with me here about 25 minutes ago, what I really want you to notice is that you have been in control of your emotional state. Doing these very gentle practices, you have facilitated a change, a movement, a pivot in the direction of feeling better. And I promise you, feeling better is the key to being better in your body and in your mind. And notice, again, with appreciation, how much control you have over it. Okay, let's take another sip of water. We're going to move into some yoga movement, just to see how it feels to take this body, this soothed person that you are right now, into movement. Because let's face it, we live in a world where we take action, right? And it's pleasurable. It should be pleasurable to take action, and sometimes it's not, but we do live in an action-oriented world. It's lovely to sit here and meditate and do yoga, but we don't live in the yoga room, virtual or not. We live out there. So let's have a little fun, a little experimenting with what it would feel like to move into action with this body, feeling soothed. And yes, Lisa, first of all, Lisa, I kid you not, I was thinking about you this morning, but you and I already know this, right? These are the way the synchronicities line up. So I'm really happy to hear from you. And this beautiful music, the artist is John Notar. He's a fabulous pianist. And he just released this album, and he gave us, our yoga studio, permission to use this music. So it's really lovely to have this music for ourselves. Okay, so we're going to lie down. So if you are sitting on the ground and you have that cushion under you, let's just pop that cushion out from under. If you were sitting on a chair, come on and bring yourself down to the ground with us. If you are lying on your back, Well, you've got a little head start because that's where we're all going right now. We're going to lie down. So go ahead and lie down. All right, so here we are. Shavasana, arms at your sides, and I'm going to invite you to slide your arms pretty far away from your body. As you slide your arms, it's really nice and soothing for the nervous system. And notice that it feels really relaxed. Find this place where your arms are just far enough that they feel really limp. And if you experiment a little, when you bring your arms in closer, you begin to feel more tension in your shoulders. So you can just relax that by sliding them out. Let your heels touch, let your toes flop open, let your knees sort of fall to the sides. Again, not forcing or pushing, just not holding tight. Feeling your hips sort of fall to the sides as well. Your eyes are open, but you're not looking at the ceiling, because notice what happens when I'm looking at the ceiling. You can try it for yourself. See that? Feel that little kink in the back of your neck. But notice what happens if you will simply shift your gaze more down the middle of your body. Feel that stretch that you get at the back of your neck. Well, your cervical spine is lining up here, and it always feels wonderful to have these body parts aligned. So here we are. One of the most powerful poses in the entire yoga sequence, Shavasana. It's the one that gives you the most soothing and the most allowing for well-being. Inhale, balloon your belly out. Keep the collarbones pulled wide so you can feel yourself stretching in the most gentle and soothing way across your upper spine and traps. And now exhale, deflate the balloon. Let's do it with the hum. When you're at the bottom of your breath, the balloon completely deflated, drop your lower back into someone's hand, as if someone has slipped their hand under the small of your back, and they're asking you to allow them to hold you up. Inhale, balloon your belly out. Keep your gaze shifting downward. Keep your collarbones pulled wide. Keep your feet, your toes relaxed. Holding here. And now exhale with the hum. Drop your belly and drop your lower back. One more. Inhale, balloon the belly out. And exhale. How you feel. Remember, there's no milestones or benchmarks here. There's nothing you have to live up to, and there's no evaluation or judgment going on. You are just becoming more and more aware of what it feels like to be here, in this moment, right now. All right, let's move into some movement. Pavanamuktasana, wind-removing pose. This is a beautiful pose that lines you up in the hips and massages your descending and ascending colon. So it gives a really beautiful enhancement to the digestive system. So as you inhale, bring your legs together. Bring your arms in close to your body. And pull your toes forward and pull your fingertips down towards the wall in front of you. Notice that as you pull your fingertips forward, you can tuck your chin even more. So you're getting an opportunity here to stretch the cervical spine even more. And as you exhale, bend both knees, place the soles of your feet to the ground, and inch your heels up towards your butt. those heels settle, maybe they'll be touching your butt, maybe they won't. But again, notice the long back. Notice how stretched you feel in your spine. Squeeze the legs tightly together. Inhale, pressing so there's no space between the inner thighs and knees. And as you exhale, bring those two legs, which are now like one leg, squeeze together, knees to chest. Wrap your arms around your knees and grab whatever is available. It could be fingers, wrists, forearms, elbow tips, maybe even above your elbow tips, keeping your head on the mat and tucking your chin and looking where your knees meet. Keep the knees squeezed together. Relax your feet. Inhale, tuck the chin, pull the collarbones wide. And as you exhale, squeeze in with the forearms. Bring the knees to the chest. Tuck the chin towards that little hollow space in your throat and begin to pull from the outer edges of your knees into maybe the crooks of your elbows if that's what's holding you. And as you do this, you'll feel these two equal and opposite things. The desire to squeeze your legs together with your arms and then to almost push your knees apart into the arms and feel this flattening that happens in your spine. So in addition to here getting a great massage of your transverse colon, you are also getting the hips to get beautifully open and the spine to be nice and long. Squeeze, press, feel the soothing of this and then change. Bring your arms to your sides, soles of the feet to the ground, slide your legs out, back in Shavasana with your heels touching, toes flopped apart. Slide your arms. You're just looking for that place where it almost feels like you don't have arms. They're nice and limp. Inhale, balloon the belly out. And exhale, drop the lower back. Hear the ha sound in your throat rather than the hum. Now let's do one leg at a time. As you inhale, bend the right knee. Place the sole of your right foot to the ground. Walk the heel in close to your butt. Bring your arms in close to your body. Pull with the fingertips, tuck the chin, and bring the knee to the chest as you bend the elbow tips and clasp all 10 fingers 2 inches below the right knee. Relax your right foot. Let's get both elbow tips into the waist. So wiggle them around a little until you feel them sort of lock into place at your waist. Inhale, tuck the chin, relax the foot. Exhale, pressing with the fingers, guide the right knee towards the right armpit. So bypass the rib cage just a little and see that knee feel like it's aiming towards the armpit. Keep the elbows in the waist. This will be a little bit of a fun challenge. Sometimes one elbow tip on this side, the left one, will want to lift up over the rib cage. You want both elbows in your waist, and as you do this, you're going to feel the collarbones pull wide and your chest open, facilitating this beautiful natural movement. You are not forcing your body to do anything. You're aligning your body so that you can allow your body to do what it does naturally, which is feel good, be flexible, feel freedom in your body. Press. Right knee to right armpit. So you might feel a little pinch in the right hip. You might feel some stretching deep in the left groin. Notice that none of these feelings are pain. If anything feels like pain at any point, you just back it down to a slightly lesser stretch. Stay in the soothing moment. And this is where the changes in your body start to happen. And release. So bring the sole of the right foot to the ground, both arms at your sides, slide the right leg out. Let the heels touch for a moment. As you inhale, bend the left leg at the knee, walking that heel in close. Bringing your arms in close and pulling with all 10 fingertips so you feel the lengthening in your arms, the drag in your shoulders, and then Bend the left knee, bend the elbow tips and clasp all 10 fingers 2 inches below the left knee. Both elbows in the waist. Start out by getting them both into place. Look for your knee, look for your throat with your eyes. As you inhale, relax the outstretched right leg, relax the feet. Exhale, bend the elbows, pressing to guide the left knee towards the left armpit. So one of the beautiful little tricks in this pose is to never stop the movement, even if it's the slightest movement. It's the movement, the constantly being in motion that feels so good. Inhale, tuck your chin, pull your collarbones wider, elbows in the waist. Exhale, pull your elbow tips down towards your hips, tucking your chin and guiding the left knee towards the left armpit. Notice that if you increase the pressure, it just feels good. It doesn't feel like a strain or a struggle. And if it ever does, just back it down to that place where it feels good. Because this is where all your benefits are. My friends, there is no pain and gain. There's only injury. You don't need to beat yourself up, body or otherwise, or attitude, in order for you to feel good. It doesn't even make sense. You can't beat yourself up in order to feel good. You simply have to learn to feel good all along the way and change. Bring the sole of the left foot to the ground, the arms at your sides, and a moment in Shavasana. Heels touch, toes flopped apart, collarbones wide, chin down, arms limp. And if you feel any strain in your arms, sometimes you don't know it until you pull your arms out a little further. And you'll find that place where the arms are limp. And inhale, balloon the belly out. And exhale, deflate. Drop your lower back. Feel that hand waiting to hold you at the small of your back, and allow yourself to be held. Let's do bridge pose. So turn your palms to the ground. As you inhale, slide your arms under your body, hips on your wrists, or maybe a little bit above as you squeeze your shoulder blades together and lock the arms. Exhale, drop your lower back. Relax your hands under your body. Now inhale, bend both knees again. Maybe you can walk your heels all the way up to your butt. You can reach out and grab your ankles with your hands. If not, no worries. Feet are 6 inches apart, about hip width. Squeeze those shoulder blades together under you. Tuck your chin. Shift your gaze from the ceiling to right down the middle of your body. And your cervical spine will simply be guided into this open position. Now, as you inhale, begin to tighten your thighs. Pull forward from your knees, as if you want your knees to touch the wall in front of you. And slowly, your hips will sort of lift themselves right up. Tuck your chin. Look down the middle of your body. Don't raise your hips too high. Just this place where you feel floating. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Now, if your hands are reaching out and holding, or touching the ankles, you might even hold the ankles with the fingertips. And as you exhale, slowly begin to lower down by relaxing the quads, the thighs, bringing the knees back to pointing to the ceiling and feeling one vertebra at a time come to the ground. And drop your lower back. Inhale, once again, begin to tighten the thighs, pull forward from the knees, tuck your chin, allow your hips to float themselves up. Feel every vertebra of your back coming off the mat, and not too high. Keep your stomach sucked in, your chin down. Just notice how light it feels here. You're holding your entire lower body, your hips, against gravity, and yet it feels easy. This is one of the clues that you're actually healing. You're doing some good for yourself here, body and mind. And as you exhale, slowly lower down. feel every vertebra come to the ground. Middle back, lower back, hips. And one more time. As you inhale, tighten the thighs. Begin to pull the knees forward, tucking the chin into that little hollow space. See if you can wedge it in. And holding aloft here. Nice and relaxed. And then as you exhale, slowly lowering down, one vertebra at a time. Really take the time to feel every vertebra make contact with the ground. Lower back and hips. And then lift your hips a little, slide your arms out from under you, palms facing up. Slide your legs out. Let's take a moment here in Shavasana. Heels touch, toes squat apart, collarbones wide, chin down. Inhale. And exhale. Now yoga works a lot on brain chemistry. So lots and lots of neuroscientific experiments are showing how these yoga movements change the structure and function of your brain for the better, especially movements that use right and left alternating. So we're going to do one of these poses, or a few of them right now. Let's start with this one. Bring your arms out to the sides in T position. This is a beautiful spinal twist. Bring your legs together. Pull from your toes, pull from the ends of your fingertips. Inching, inching, inching as if you want to touch the opposite walls. Touch the walls in front of you with your toes. Rotate your knees inward a little bit. Tuck your chin down. Exhale and drop your lower back. And now inhale, bend both knees. Walk those heels in nice and close to the butt. Just notice how good it feels. And squeeze your legs together into one unit. Tuck up your chin. Really taking a moment to feel this really beautiful pull, this traction that's happening in your spine right now. Relax your shoulders. Drop your lower back on the exhale. And now inhale, squeeze the legs together. Rise up onto the tippy toes and bring the knees to the chest. Tuck your chin towards your knees. Pull your collarbones wide apart, and as you exhale, squeezing the legs tight, drop both knees under the right armpit. So being mindful of where you're aiming, up under the armpit. Remember, it's not important whether your knees get there or not. You're just being mindful of what's happening and how it feels in your body. And then relax. Drop your chin. Slide your head on the mat a little to the right. Tuck your chin again, and then turn your head to the left, as if you'd like your left ear to touch the ground. Keep both collarbones pulled wide. And breathe. So here's one of these beautiful poses where the body is going to the right and the head to the left. So you're getting this wonderful opportunity to balance the right and left hemispheres of your brain. This adds to clarity, focus. It even helps you from having those knee-jerk reactions to things that agitate you. Being able to be more mindful and more in control of the way you choose to react to situations. And squeeze the legs together and bring the knees back to center. At center, bring the knees in close to the chest, tucking the chin towards the knees, pull collarbones wide. Those legs squeeze tight as you exhale, aiming the knees under the left armpit. So over to the left and up a little, aiming under the armpit. And when the knees are as far as they're going, just let gravity take them the rest of the way. Pull the collarbones wide. Feel both shoulder blades on the mat. Go ahead and trace this stretch down the whole right side of your body, like with your mind. Feel it opening. Now slide your head a little to the left and drop down onto your right ear. And breathe. Inhale. I hear all sorts of wonderful clicks in my back, in my spine. To me, these are things like a jigsaw puzzle being kind of popped back into place. Everything aligning in the body. It certainly feels soothing in my emotional state. And inhale, squeeze the legs together. Bring your head back to center, bring your knees back to center. And right here at center, as you exhale, slide your arms back into your sides. Palms facing down. Pull with your fingers and roll your arms under, or roll your hips on top of your wrists. So your arms are now under your body with your palms facing down. Your hands are totally relaxed. Your shoulder blades are squeezed together. So you can feel this little lifting of the breastbone. Inhale and begin to pull your heels, flexing them towards the wall in front of you, flexing the toes towards your face. Squeeze the legs together nice and tight. And as you exhale, tuck your chin, and with your heels flexing, begin to raise the soles of your feet to the ceiling. So keeping it slow, feeling like you're unwinding from your knees to your heels, sucking your stomach in, keeping your collarbones pulled wide, your shoulder blades squeezed together under your body. And eventually, you're holding the ceiling up with the soles of your feet. Now your knees might be bent or your legs can be straight. It's fine. Relax here. Inhale, pull from the heels. Flex the toes towards your face. Rotate your knees in a little. Squeeze your shoulder blades together under your body. And as you exhale, pulling again from the heels, flexing the toes towards the face, slowly begin to lower your legs. Now keep pulling from the heels and flexing the toes, and this descent can be really beautifully controlled. Suck your stomach in, keep the collarbones wide. Notice if you're starting to sort of hunch in a little with the shoulder blades. That's all right, you know what to do. Just pull them wide again. Inhaling, flexing the heels forward, flexing the toes towards your face. If you didn't start with your legs straight, somewhere on the way down you might be inspired to straighten them. You still might not, that's fine. Just keeping it nice and slow. It's this feeling of your legs being lowered from this pulley rope from the ceiling, holding you at the ankles. So your job is simply to keep the heels flexed and the toes pulling towards your face, the collarbones squeezing, or the shoulder blades squeezing together under you, and these ropes just lower you down. This is incredibly calming to your nervous system, plus it's strengthening for your legs, your thighs, your core, and beautifully relaxing for the blood vessels in your legs as they first drain out and then fill again. And when your heels are down, roll your arms out from under you, and let's take a moment in Shavasana. So arms are far from your body, heels are touching, toes are flopped apart. Eyes are open, and breathe. Inhale, and exhale. And take a moment here in Shavasana to notice how you feel emotionally. Again, that scale of 1 to 10. It's just taking a quick glimpse, trying not to judge or evaluate yourself, trying not to have these feelings of one number being better than the other. You're just sort of pulling back the curtain and taking a quick glimpse. What do things feel like in there right now? Inhale. Hold the belly out and exhale. Deflate. Dropping down. Letting that hand, trusting that hand to hold your lower back. So now we're going to do a yoga sit-up. Now, if you have any back issues and you don't want to do this sit-up, that's perfectly fine, right? You know, I may be a yoga teacher for 45 years, but you are the authority of you. Right? You are the expert in you. So if you'd rather not do a sit-up, bring your hands into prayer position, bend your knees, knees to the chest, and roll yourself over onto your right side and push yourself up into a seated position. If you'd like to try a yoga sit-up, here we go. Inhale, arms overhead. Interlock your thumbs, pull your fingertips towards the wall behind you, bring your legs together, pull from your toes, and now flex your heels towards the wall in front of you. Flex the toes towards your face. Feel your ability to lengthen your whole body here. So good for the muscles, the nerves as well. Great for the nervous system. Stretch and start. Reach for the ceiling. Reach forward, grab onto your big toes with your first two fingers. Look at the wall in front of you. Double jerk with your elbows, double exhale through your mouth. Shh, shh, and then hang. Drop your chin. Let your elbow tips hang. Look for your own throat. And take a moment here. Just feel yourself surrendering. Feel your body opening. Feel the pleasure of this. And then change. Sit up. Okay, let's turn around, facing front. All right. So let's do a simple butterfly pose. Bring your soles of your feet together. Knees will fall out to the sides, however far they fall out. Remember, it could be here, could be all the way down. This is checking in with awareness, not with judgment, not with any shoulds, not thinking that it's better to be in one position than the other. Interlace your fingers, clasp them over your toes, and then very gently and lightly bounce your knees. Now, bouncing is an amazing healing for your cells. If you haven't heard of rebounding, for a while it was extremely popular, and for a lot of people still is. Rebounding on a trampoline is really shown to impact the cells of your body, to bring more oxygen to the cells, to really help those cells to regenerate. And rebounding is great on a trampoline if you like. I know I've tried it a handful of times, but I would get sort of dizzy. So you can rebound in your body this way as well, just this gentle bouncing. Now again, if you're rebounding, it's not to pull your knees apart or to stretch in the groin or the hips. It's gentle. That's how it works, rebounding. Locking your elbows, sit back a little bit, keep your collarbones wide, drop your chin, let the tongue rest on the roof of your mouth, and just bouncing the knees. Now listen, some people have bad knees, or I shouldn't say bad, but you know, knees that are in their healing mode right now. And so bouncing might not feel good to you, or having the knees spread apart like this might not feel soothing to you. So don't do it. Simply sit and breathe. Okay? So now, sliding your hands up onto your knees, slide your legs out in front of you, keeping the soles of your feet touching as long as you can. You'll feel them come apart, and then your legs are straight out in front of you. Place your palms on your legs at the knees or below, wherever it is that you can lock your arms. Pull from your heels. Flex the toes towards your face. Drop your chin. Let your eyes settle on something in front of you that simply feels pleasant to look at. And a little trick is to be more looking out of the tops of your eyes than head on. It's a way to keep that chin down enough that the head stays centered on the neck. Feels great. Pull the collarbones wide, dropping the chin a little, allowing the tongue to be resting on the roof of your mouth. And inhale. And exhale. And we'll do some separate leg stretching. So bring your legs out to a V shape. Now, if this feels good, you can also bend your left knee so the sole of the right foot is tucked up against the inner right thigh. But again, if this causes any pain in the knee, now there's a difference between pain and just feeling something, right? If you feel something, this could be a really nice thing, an awakening. And if it feels painful, you will know it immediately. And that's when you do this one. All right. So with your right leg out, 45 degrees on the angle, begin to pull from your right heel and flex the right toes towards your face. Lean back a little bit. Inhale your arms overhead, clasp all 10 fingers into a net over your head and begin to pull that net towards the ceiling. Squeezing your head with your biceps, tuck your tailbone down, feel yourself being able to lift yourself up out of your own waist. Turn towards the right leg, the outstretched leg, pull from the heel and check that your big toe is right up to the ceiling. Now here's how you can adjust that. You bring that right toe in and the right knee in, more towards the open center of your body. Keep both hips on the ground. Lean back a little bit, and as you exhale, throw the net of fingers over the ball of your right foot and drop your forehead to your knee. Bend your knee up if you need to. Let's get that spot between the eyebrows to nestle against the kneecap. Pull from the right heel, flex the toes towards the face, turning the knee a little into the open center, and let your elbow tips bend and hang. Forehead to knee, chin tucked into that hollow space between the collarbones. Breathe. And change. So pull the net forward as you disengage it from the ball of the foot, coming up, looking at your outstretched leg, and then turn your torso to the open center again. And let's alternate the legs using the abdominal wall if your knee is bent in. If not, your legs are already in place. So we'll bring the left leg out and the sole of the right foot against the inner left thigh. And I'm going to adjust my position for the camera. That's nothing you have to worry about. You're just good where you are. So pulling from the left heel and flexing the toes towards the face, your arms stay overhead and pull. And reach and lift yourself up out of your waist. Lean back a little bit into your hips. Turn your torso towards the outstretched left leg and pulling from the heel, flexing the toes, rotate that left knee in a little bit, but keep the left hip on the ground. Lean it back, and as you exhale, throw the net over the ball of the left foot. Bend the knee if you need to get forehead to knee. Tuck your chin as if you're trying to see your own throat. Allow your elbow tips to bend. And breathe right here. So feel like you have a turtle shell on your back, and you're just trying to tuck yourself into it. Breathing. And change. So that net of fingers, pull it forward, disengaging it from the ball of the foot. Arms locked beside your ears, stretch back up, turn to the open center again. Now keep your arms over your head, and if your legs weren't already in a V, now you're bringing them into a V. As you exhale, bring your arms down, take your first two fingers and hook them between your first two toes. Keep your eyes softly looking at something in front of you. Remember that at the tops of your eyes more so than head on. This way you have your chin dropped and your neck relaxed. Looking at that spot as you inhale, you're holding with your first two fingers between your first two toes. Lift your chest. Pull the collarbones wide. Pull from the heels, flex the toes towards your face, rotate the big toes and knees inward, and as you exhale, flattening the backs of your knees to the mat. Now, if your legs are already straight, your heels are hovering a little, bend your elbow tips. Let your elbow tips drop down beside your calf muscles on the outside and lead your breastbone forward. Eventually, you're all the way down. But remember, there's no reason you have to rush to get there, and there's no there. This is all about the soothing that you get all along the way, the joy you feel in the way your body moves. And then change. Bring yourself back up, still holding your toes, big toes, sitting up straight, and then bring your legs together again. So legs together, pull from your heels, flex the toes towards your face, rotate your knees in, place your palms so your arms are locked at the elbows, collarbones wide. tongue resting on the roof of your mouth, eyes softly focused on something in front of you, feeling like you're looking at that object more out of the tops of your eyes than head on. And breathe right here. Inhale, collarbones wide. Exhale, drop the tailbone down and tuck it up a little bit, pointing it just a little towards your navel. As you pull from your heels and flex your toes and keep your arms locked and your chin down, notice how easy it is to sit on the ground. Ardha Matsyendrasana, half spinal twist. So your legs are straight out ahead of you. If you have no problem with your knees, you can bend your left knee so that the knee points forward. If this torque in the knee causes you any pain, then you keep your legs straight out. Bring your right leg up and over, allowing the right heel to nestle against the left knee corner. Now, especially if this knee is bent, you might have to move this heel out from under your right hip and settle that right hip down. So both hips are flush to the ground. Bring your right arm behind you and lock it. It's like a kickstand for you. Left arm up by your ear and really reach. Just feel your ability to lift yourself up out of your own waist. Stretch, stretch. Both arms locked, and then bend the elbow, come down around the outside of the bent knee, and with the elbow, push the knee away. Reach your hand down, and if you're sitting on a yoga mat or towel, you can grab onto the top edge of that mat or towel. If you're not, place your fingertips on the ground so that you can lock your arm. And if you've been practicing for a while, maybe you can slip your hand under your bent knee, as long as you don't lift that knee up off the mat to do it. Knee is still down. Good. So inhale, lift your chest, drop your chin, begin to pull your collarbones really wide, feeling that right shoulder disappear behind you. And as you exhale, turn your head and look over your right shoulder. Now, as you turn, you're going to trace this beautiful twist of your spine. Start at your hips. Both hips are on the ground. As you twist a little more, you'll feel it more in the middle of your spine, around your waist. As you twist a little more, feel it come up to the upper spine and into your shoulders. As you move the right shoulder back and the left shoulder forward, drop your chin. And as you twist a little more, look at an object somewhere behind whatever you're looking at right now for that final twist in the cervical spine. Again, I hear so many delicious clicks in my spine. Twist and change. Come back to center and let's alternate. So, if it's comfortable for you to bend the right knee, go ahead. Otherwise, the right leg is straight out ahead of you. Left leg up and over. The left heel nestled against the right knee corner. And pulling this heel out from under, especially if this knee is bent, you might need to do this to settle both hips. Really important to have both hips on the ground. Left arm is behind you, really locked like a kickstand. Right arm reaching for 12 o'clock. So again, just feel yourself sort of pulling down your right arm and your left arm as you lift yourself up out of your waist, keeping both hips on the ground. Take a moment to appreciate this delicious opening that you're facilitating, and then bend that right elbow outside of the knee. Push the knee away and reach down with your hand, holding the towel or mat, placing the fingertips to lock the arm, bringing the fingertips under the bent knee. Either way, both arms are now locked. As you inhale, lift your chest, drop your chin, and as you exhale, begin to look over the left shoulder. So let's trace this twist. Both hips are down, but you can begin to feel the turning of your spine right above your hips. Locking the arms, feel the twist in your middle spine. Pulling the collarbones wide, begin to feel the twist in your shoulders, your upper spine, and then dropping your chin and look at something behind you right now. Whatever it is you're looking at, search for the next thing to feel that ultimate twist up in the cervical spine. And change. Come back around to center. Beautiful. Bring both legs out in front of you. Heels touching. Or I should say legs squeezed together, everything touching. Pulling from the heels, flexing the toes towards your face. Place your palms, lock your arms, pull your collarbones wide. Rotate your knees in, dropping your chin. Eyes are settled on something soothing to look at in front of you. More out of the tops of your eyes than head on. And breathe. Inhale. Now as you exhale, keeping your chin tucked, leaning back, keeping your heels pulling forward, toes flexed towards your face, slide your palms over your knees. Coming down easy, slowly, feeling every vertebra, palms over your thighs. Keep pulling from the heels, flexing the toes towards the face. You guys keep going. I'm going to stay seated as you get guided down into your final Shavasana pose. You're all the way down. Relax your arms to your sides, palms facing up. Slide your arms far from your body, far enough that they feel limp. You'll notice, right, you play around with it a little bit. When they're too close to your body, you can feel the pull. And when they get to that space where they're too far away, you'll feel the pull. Somewhere in there, there's this beautiful range where you feel totally relaxed. And then your body and your nervous system are both working together to bring you to that natural state of well-being. Notice I say it's a natural state of well-being. You don't have to work hard to get here. You just come back and remember, once a day, right here in the middle of the day, in this Blissful Warrior practice. Now close your eyes. Let's take some deep breaths. Inhale, balloon your belly out. Tuck your chin, collarbones wide, palms facing up. Fingers curled naturally, heels touching, toes flopped apart. And as you exhale, deflate the balloon of your belly. Follow it with your mind, hearing the sound in the back of your throat, dropping your lower back into that waiting hand, that person who's just waiting to support you. Inhale, balloon the belly out. Hear the big ha sound, the ocean sound you're creating in the back of your throat. Remembering about the vagus nerve right now. And then exhale, deflate. Chin dropped a little. Feel yourself opening at the cervical spine with that little bit of a chin drop. Tongue resting on the roof of your mouth. Knowing how calming this is to the nervous system. Drop your lower back. Inhale. Just knowing the good that you've done for yourself here, and you'll know it by how you feel right now. So I'm going to leave you with a little reading from the Blissful Warrior. Simply take the next better feeling step in this moment. Start from wherever you are. You can always feel a little better. A little is enough. You are not attempting to leap from depression to bliss. You are feeling for the next gentle step up from wherever you are. Feeling better is the point. Feeling good is the game, and it's always within your reach. Just stop struggling. You cannot find ease through struggle. Find your sense of flow. When you choose to feel good no matter what, you experience this paradox. You can feel better under sad conditions. Happiness is not conditional. It is a choice. Thank you for making this choice to join me today in this Blissful Warrior Yoga practice. I'll be here every weekday, 12:30-ish to 1:30-ish. I see already it's 1:40. So I tend to, as I said, this is my practice. This is a practice that is very near and dear to my heart, very soothing in these chaotic times. And so it's almost impossible for me to stop at an hour. I just want to keep going. And I hope you begin to feel that way too. I hope this becomes a little bright spot that you look forward to in the middle of your day, knowing how you are going to feel during and after, and beginning to see how your life unfolds for you, having done this practice as quickly, as easily, and as instantly as right now. The rest of this day, notice how much easier things go for you today. Even hard things, even challenging things. Notice the difference that you are as you approach those things, and how that makes a difference in the quality of your life. Thank you for joining me again. I'm Rhonda Uretsky, the owner of River Flow Yoga, and we will continue to bring you virtual yoga right here on our Facebook Live channel every day. And I hope to see you again soon.